All right. Here we are. College football playoff final. We've got number 2 Baylor versus Utah, or number 4 Baylor versus number 2 Utah. For all the marbles, this would be Baylor's second championship if they manage to pull it out. This would be Utah's fourth, but they haven't won a championship in 3 seasons now. So Florida State got 2 and Baylor got 1 after Utah got 3 straight. So exciting to see what'll happen here. Just letting things get a little caught up and make sure that we've got the buffer here, so everyone can see and hear, and we are familiar. So anyway, talk a little bit about Baylor. They did come through. They defeated Ole Miss, who is an up-and-coming program. They barely got that win. Had to go to overtime, 45-38 over Ole Miss. Then they faced Florida State and really put a whooping on a great Florida State program, and beat them 54-28 to find themselves in this championship game after a stellar season. Utah came in and played Nebraska to open up in the quarterfinal. They won that one 41-26. Memphis obviously got through Notre Dame, and Utah defeated Memphis by a wide margin, 66-20, to get themselves to the championship game. So, interesting slate of playoff teams this year. Memphis was new. They got a win over Notre Dame, who's annually been here. Nebraska's new. Kentucky's new. A lot of good teams, and a lot of changing of the guard, I think, once a few of these teams that are new up-and-comers are able to get, a few seasons of recruiting and really get their guys in their program, we'll start seeing them take down some of these blue bloods. But anyway, with all of that, I'm going to get started. And we'll sim this playoff game and see what happens. All right. So here we go. Baylor versus Utah. We're going to kick it off right here. I'm going to slow down the speed just a little bit so we can see. Utah's going to kick off the ball to start this one. So Baylor's going to start with the ball on their own 25-yard line. Jamie Fields, along with Patrick Gay and Nimenyehu, looking to get along. He's looking there for the pass on first down, not able to convert. Second down, Fields drops back looking for Patrick Gay, and that's going to be dropped. Incomplete. Third down and 10 for Baylor here. Drops back looking for, is that Collins? Collins gets the catch for a first down. Big gain for Baylor down to the 43-yard line of Utah as Fields. This is going to be the 4th straight drop back, and he hits his receiver in stride. Patrick Gay gets 31 yards down to the 12-yard line, and Baylor looks hot already on offense as they go with a counter there on first down to get down to the 2-yard line, and Utah stuffs them, but they are going to get, nope, not quite the first down, 3rd inches from the Utah 2, and that's going to be Dixon punching it through, is able to find that seam and get the touchdown. So Baylor, in their opening drive, has a nice drive and gets a touchdown to go up 7-0 against Utah early in this football game. They take about 3 minutes off the clock to get there as Utah starts off early, going with Jason White in the running game. for 3 yards. There's going to be a penalty here. That's offsides on Baylor, so that's going to put Utah at 2nd and 1. Let's see if they run the ball here. They do. That's going to be George Martin, that 5th Beetle, going for a first down, 5 yards. So Utah taking a different approach than Baylor. Baylor threw the ball 5 straight times to open their first drive. Utah has run 4 straight times to open their drive, as Cardona does drop back right there, completes the pass for 35 yards, gets Utah down to the 22-yard line. And if this is a preview of what's to come between these two teams, we're in for a barn burner, as Cardona is able to hit McBride across the middle and get into the end zone there for a touchdown, as now we're knotted up 7-7 with 9:23 left. So Utah takes about 2 minutes and 30 seconds on that drive, and Baylor's going to get started on their own 39 after a nice return. And that's going to be Kalua finding a seam and going for 13 yards, getting a first down out across midfield for Baylor, as Fields drops back, looking for his fullback. They connect 7 yards. That's going to put him at 2nd and 3 from the Utah 40. As we go on the outside again, that's Dixon getting 9 yards running, as Baylor's kind of changed their identity a little bit, not passing as much this time around, as Fields does drop back right there, but it's going to be incomplete, broken up by Levine, the corner for Utah. On 2nd down, Baylor looks to run the ball, and that's going to be Kalua for 5 yards. And so they're answered after Utah's opening drive. Baylor said, "Oh, we can run the ball too. Don't worry, we can do that." As they do, and they try to pass again. That's going to be incomplete. Gets a 4th down, and Baylor is going to have to kick a field goal. They do, and they get up 10-7 on Utah, as Utah's going to take that kick return, get it out to about the 22-yard line, and they're going to start 1st and 10 from their own 22. Let's see what Utah does on their second drive. Drops back. He's got a man. That they had the fullback and the wide receiver over there, and the defenders kind of got caught up, and that's going to be 32 yards from Cardona on the strike. And then Jason White, he's going to go outside off tackle for 7 yards, putting Utah at 2nd and 2 from the 37-yard line. Cardona drops back, looking to hit his tight end, and that's Joseph. That's going to be dropped. Incomplete pass for Utah. So Cardona with an empty backfield. He drops back, but that's going to be John Baker, the former Ute, getting through and getting the sack on Cardona. He left Utah to go to Baylor a couple seasons ago, and he gets the sack there, determined to show his former team that he doesn't like their school or their culture, and that's why he left. I'm not sure why, but Baylor gets started deep in their own territory after a nice punt from Utah, up 10-7, 3:49 to play. They take it to 3rd and 4 here after a couple running plays to get some breathing room. Williams there on 3rd down. He's able to get 5 yards across to the 13-yard line for Baylor as Field drops back on 1st down. He's looking for his receiver Collins. That's going to be incomplete. 2nd down, they're going to go on the outside again, running. That's going to be Kalua. He gets 11 yards, and that's going to be a 1st down for Baylor up to the 25-yard line. And they started deep in their own territory as Utah does bring the blitz there, and there comes Joseph Smith, one of the league leaders. He had 20 sacks in the regular season. He gets through and gets the sack on Fields. That's going to drop him back to the 15-yard line, 2nd and 20 for Baylor, as Kalua gets through, is able to get 6 yards rushing, and Fields drops back looking for his tight end. He was open too, but Majika was able to jump up and get a hand on the ball before that completion was made. So Majika corrected his spot and broke up that ball. Utah gets the ball back at their own 31-yard line, and that's going to be George Martin running off tackle, 7 yards, 2nd and 3 Utah, as Cardona drops back looking for his tight end, Joseph, and that's going to be complete for 9 yards and a 1st down for Utah up to the 48-yard line, their own 48-yard line, as there's a seam for Jason White. Gets through the second layer of defenders across the 1st down, 13 yards for Utah. 1st down, we go George Martin on the outside again. He likes that number 7 yards for Martin. around the left end, as Utah has 2nd and 2 from the Baylor 31, and that's going to be White again getting 7 yards on the outside to get a first down in the running game for Utah, and Utah just going to keep running that rock. We got George Mountain on the outside, another first down, 12 yards for Utah. Let's see if Cardona drops back on this one. 1st and 10. No, they're going to run a counter, and that's going to be George Martin. Not able to get much, only a yard. 2nd and 9 from the Baylor 11. That's going to be Cardona dropping back. He is complete to the running back Butcher. That's going to be 6 yards. 3rd and 2 from the Baylor 4. Are they able to push through? And White gets on the outside. 4 yards. Touchdown for Utah. And they take their first lead in this game, 14-10 over Baylor. But Baylor gets the ball back. We got 12:40 to play in the second quarter. Baylor's going to start down 14-10 at their own 25-yard line after a touchback, and that's going to be Kalua running on the outside for 9 yards. Baylor 2nd and 1 on the outside again, and that's going to be Dixon getting 14 yards and a first down, moving Baylor up to the 48-yard line. So it's already been just an offensive battle. Like, defense has just been basically giving up everything for both teams so far in this game. As Utah does get a stop there for a 2-yard gain, 2nd and 2. And they aren't able to complete 3rd and 8 for Baylor. Fields drops back, looking for an open man. Looking, buying time, and he's not able to find him. Incomplete pass to Urbina. So that had to have been the 5th choice of receiver for the Baylor quarterback. Fields, as they have to punt. Utah gets started at their own 25-yard line. Looking to run the ball. Martin goes on the outside. That's going to be no gain. 2nd and 10 for Utah. There comes the running back again. That's Jason White, who scored the touchdown on the last drive. He's able to get 8 yards up to 3rd and 2 for Utah. As Cardona drops back, looking for his man. That's going to be complete to Poe, the freshman, for 11 yards and a first down for Utah. Up to the 44-yard line of their own 44-yard line. Martin goes on the outside. That's going to be 4 yards. 2nd and 5 for the Utes as they look to find a seam. That's Butcher. That might be his first carry of the game. The freshman Butcher looks like an exciting player. He gets 1 yard, and then Cardona drops back for the pass on 3rd down, looking, and the pocket collapses in on him, and he's going to be sacked. 4th and 11. Utah's going to have to punt. It's going to be taken by Baylor. Looks like a touchback at the 12-yard line. That's where Baylor's going to take over. 1st and 10 for Baylor. 7:23 to play. Utah comes with the corner blitz. That's Greg Crane with the sack, but he does pull a face mask there, so that's going to help Baylor as they are going to get an automatic first down out of that one. As Dixon comes through, there's a fumble on the play, but it looks like the Baylor's going to retain possession after an 8-yard gain from Dixon. So 2nd and 2 for Baylor. Fields drops back. There's the blitz again from the free safety. Sherman comes in from the free safety spot, and he's able to hit Fields. That's going to be a fumble. Utah gets the ball, and it's going to be 1st and 10 Utah from the 14-yard line. 6:35 to play in the second quarter as Fields drops back, goes incomplete on 1st down. On 2nd down, looking, and that's going to be Jason White getting a nice 6-yard gain. 3rd and manageable for Utah. 3rd and 3 inside the 10-yard line, and there goes George Martin. He finds a seam in the middle, and nobody's there. He's going to skate through into the end zone untouched. 7 yards for George Martin and a touchdown. Utah, they go up 21-10. So let's see how Baylor can answer as we start winding down this first half. Fields drops back. Utah's definitely stiffened up on defense ever since those opening 2 drives for Baylor. It's been a lot stiffer going for them as they do get 10 yards there up to the 38-yard line. Looking to pass again. That's Collins. That's going to fall incomplete. 4:49 to play in the second quarter. Fields drops back, looking for his man. That's going to be Gay. Caught deep, 39 yards, and that's a first down for Baylor. As is that going to be Fields? That's Kalua. Kalua finds a seam. That's going to be 22 yards for Kalua. Gets through the defense, and he is running well in this game, I got to say. He's had some nice averages as he gets through there to bring Baylor back to 21-17. But that was such a quick score that, now Utah has time to really establish a drive and maybe go into halftime, extending this lead a little bit. As White goes for a short gain on first down, 3:18 to play in the second quarter. Cardona drops back. He's going to be sacked. That's Eugene McAdams getting through untouched. Loss of 7 for the Utes, and that's going to be 3rd and long. 3rd and 17 for Utah. Let's see what Cardona does here, and they're just going to run the ball. It looks like they're just planning on a punt. George Martin goes for 10 yards. He gets a huge chunk of it, but not going to be enough as Utah punts. 2:15 to play in the half. Baylor's going to start at their own 23-yard line as Fields going to get to work again after that quick strike on their last drive. Let's see if they can get back into the end zone with 2:06 left in the half. Fields incomplete on first down, dropping back on second down, looking for his fullback, but that's broken up by Sherman, who got that big sack and strip earlier on Fields. As Fields looking on third down, that's going to be broken up by the linebacker, and Baylor's going to have to punt, but that's a really weak punt, only like 30 yards, and Utah returns half of it. So Utah's going to get started at the 42 as we wind down 1:12 to play in this half. Martin goes for 2 yards, 1:09 to play. That's going to be Cardona dropping back. Looks like Baylor's bringing the blitz, and that leaves a man open for Utah. That's going to be a big catch by Poe, 27 yards over the middle on that slant. As Utah gets down to the 12, they still have a timeout left, 53 seconds left. Cardona drops back again, and he's going to find his receiver. That's going to be Boyd Villegas for the touchdown as Utah extends this lead 28-17, 53 seconds left in the half. Baylor's going to return this one out of the end zone, but only out to the 16-yard line, so they're going to get started, 42 seconds to play. We've seen wild things, and if there's any team capable of scoring that quickly, it's Baylor. As Fields drops back looking for Pierre, and that's going to go incomplete. As Fields drops back on second down, he's going to be sacked. Fields fumbled that again. He did pick up his own ball, but that was a free safety, Mojica, for Utah getting through and getting the strip again and the sack. So now Fields and company, they got to start deep, and they're just going to run out the clock, it looks like, as Dixon goes for 11 yards on third down, and that's going to force them to punt. Utah gets the return. They are going to return this ball, and Utah gets a big return, almost takes it to the house there. So risky play, I guess. You don't expect a punt to be that much, but I probably would have made sure that ball wasn't returnable. Utah gets a big return. They're going to start with the ball in the third quarter as they get a few yards rushing there. Cardona's going to drop back on second down, looking to extend this lead, and Poe spins around. Poe's having a great game, 34 yards. He's caught 3 passes, a couple of those big gains now. As Poe gets over to the 37-yard line, Martin goes on 7 yards on first down on the outside, and that's going to be 2nd and 2 for the Utes from the 30-yard line of Baylor. As Cardona drops back, he does have a man open there. That's Boyd Villegas, but he drops the ball. Boyd was hurt for a lot of this season, so it's nice to have him back in this one as Fields look for the tight end. Joseph knocks it incomplete, and Baylor holds there. Utah's to kick a field goal, and that's going to make it a 14-point game for the Utes, 31-17. Baylor with the ball. This is the spot where you really want to answer. You really want to get an answer back, down 2 scores. You really want to get that momentum shifted before a team starts running away from it. As Fields is not able to convert there, so it's going to be 3rd and 8 for Baylor, and they've really struggled. Utah's defense has tightened up. They've been able to get some big passes, but they haven't been able to move the ball otherwise, so it's been pretty difficult for Baylor. Utah really has tightened up. After those first 2 drives, Baylor looked like they were just going to walk into the end zone all day, and both teams were going to be able to do that. But Utah's defense tightened up pretty considerably, and that's going to be Poe again. He's wide open, and that was a short route. The corner just was parked way too shallow, about 5 yards too shallow, and Poe caught it with room to run, and he does. into Baylor territory again. Cardona drops back on second down after a no gain from the Utah running back, and he's going to find Butcher over the middle, 32 yards with the catch there from Butcher. So Utah's been finding a variety of targets in the passing game. They've had a pretty solid running game as Joseph catches the pass for 3 yards there at the tight end spot. But Utah's really looking to extend this lead, and it's almost looking like it might turn into a blowout. They need to get the stop here, and big time, Stephen Green from the free safety spot comes through when you need him most, and you need to get a stop on second goal for Utah. It's going to be 3rd and goal now from the 17 as Cardona in the empty backfield drops back, and that's going to be a Feldy getting through for the sack, and they're close to driving Utah out of field goal range. Another loss of 11 yards, back-to-back sacks for Baylor, and that's the exciting play you love to see to shift momentum. But Utah does get another field goal to go up 34-17. So Baylor is able to get that stop, and it's still a 3-score game, but it's only 17 points. And if Baylor can really get a drive going, I think those couple sacks probably did a great job to shift the momentum over on the sidelines. As first down, Fields is able to find his receiver for 31 yards. Looking again on the outside, that's going to be incomplete to Collins. Second down from the 31. Fields dropping back again, and maybe that's the ticket. They've been mixing things up, but when they just ran those 5 straight passes early in the game, Utah just didn't seem to be able to stop that many passing, and right now they've been doing it again. 2 big strikes, quick touchdown for Baylor. They drop the score to 34-24. Utah's going to have the ball back at their own 15-yard line as we're winding down here in the third quarter. 4:52 to play, and that's going to be a run on the outside from that 5th Beetle again. George Martin gets 12 yards and a first down up to the 27-yard line as Cardona drops back on first down, looking for his tight end, and that's going to be caught by Kearns, the backup tight end, for only a couple yards as Cardona drops back on second down, has his man, he scrambles out of the pocket, but Boyd Villegas is there, and that's going to be a big strike for Utah, 31 yards down to the 40-yard line of Baylor, and Utah's moving again, so Baylor really needs to get a stop here, 8 yards from Jason White. And we've got George Martin again, 3 yards on 2nd and 1 to get that first down. New set of downs from the 28-yard line of Baylor. That's going to be run on the outside. George Martin, he gets 6 yards. That's going to be 2nd and 4 for the Utes, getting close to that red zone as he has a man open over the middle. That's going to be McBride, but not able to connect. He overshoots him a little bit. Incomplete pass from Cardona. He drops back on 3rd and 4, looking over on the corner to his receiver McBride, and that's going to be caught 7 yards and a first down for the Utes. So Jason White, again, no gain on first down run. Cardona's going to drop back again, and he's been very efficient on this drive as he does find Joseph there. Utah's going to extend this lead now, back up 41-24, the Utes lead. It's been pretty back and forth outside of a couple turnover from Baylor that really shifted the momentum. Utah would only be up by 10 points right now. It was a deep fumble by Fields from the sack by Sherman earlier in that game, and that really extended the lead, and it's been fairly back and forth since then. But Utah with a 17-point lead, you can't play back and forth football. Baylor needs to get points, and they need to get a stop on defense. As we enter the fourth quarter, Baylor in Utah territory at the 49-yard line, 4-yard run there, or 2-yard run there, makes it 2nd and 8. Fields drops back. There's a blitz. He does have a man open, but Crane is able to cover ground enough and get that ball broken up. Fields drops back on 3rd and 8, looking for his man again. Kind of the same play. Patrick Gay has the catch, and that's going to be a tackle by Broderick. So they did attack. That's an inexperienced corner over there for Utah, and Broderick. They did attack him and get a big gain down inside at the 9-yard line, and then Dixon goes around the left side for 9 yards and gets the score to bring it back to a 10-point ball game, 41-31. Utah leads over Baylor. Now Baylor just needs to do that on the other side and get that stop on defense, and they'll have a chance to get back within 3 points, make this a pretty exciting game. So Utah runs on the outside, 3 yards there on first down. Cardona's going to drop back, but that's going to be Will. Beats his defender, or beats the lineman, and is able to get through and sack Cardona for a loss of 11. That's going to be 3rd and 18. That's a big spot to get that sack, driving back to 3rd and super long. But Cardona is able to complete that pass to what's become his favorite target in this game. That's Poe again. Big gain. First down for Utah. George Martin goes on the outside for 1 yard. We're across the 50 at the Baylor 47. There goes Butcher. 5 yards there. It's going to be 3rd and 3 for the Utes. Cardona drops back in that spot, looking, tries to find his running back, Butcher, but that falls incomplete. And Utah's going to have to punt. Not quite in field goal range there, but that's bend but don't break from Baylor, as Utah does cover a lot of ground, gets pretty deep into Baylor territory, but Baylor stops them ultimately when it counts. And now they got the ball back, and they're about to make things exciting as the first down throw there gets a big gain, and now they're across the 50 after a run on first down, 2nd and 2. Baylor's going to run it again, and there's Dixon. He had that 9-yard score on the last drive, and he's churning his legs this one. Utah brings the blitz. It's picked up by Baylor. That's going to be broken up, though, by Sterling over on the corner. So they only had 3 defenders back. It looked like Utah brought everybody. They brought everybody again on that one. This time they're going to pay for it, as that is complete over the middle to the tight end, and he's going to go all the way. So Utah brought the blitz twice in a row, and now Baylor's brought this game all the way back, 41-38 Utes, with 8 minutes to play. So Baylor, if they can get a stop here, they're going to have an opportunity to take that lead back that they haven't had since early in the game. But Utah's going to go on the outside, and that's going to be George Martin for 7 yards. I feel like I've said that several times today. 2nd down, Cardona's dropping back. That's going to be a pass. He's looking for his fullback, Felix Baxter, and he's going to take that to the house. Baxter catches it over the middle, and now Baxter is a little bit faster than most fullbacks, and he's able to outrun the defense, and Utah gets back in 48-38. Utah extends that lead back on a big play, pitch and catch from Cardona to the fullback Baxter, and now Baylor's going to get started. Nice return at their own 35-yard line. Penalty here, that's going to be a face mask on the Utes, so that's going to take Baylor across the 50, just barely into Utah territory. Running on the outside, that's going to be Dixon for 8 yards, 2nd and 2 for Baylor. 6:03 to play in this game. Utah brings the blitz again. They didn't learn it. Baylor's picked up the blitz the last few times Utah's brought it, but they've only been able to complete 2 passes. Utah brings the blitz again. It gets picked up again by Baylor. Another incomplete pass. It's too bad Baylor hasn't been able to capitalize on those spots, because Utah keeps bringing the blitz. They pick it up, able to get some time, and they have guys open, but just not able to complete those passes, as Kalua gets the first down on 4th down for Baylor. That's going to be Dixon going on the left tackle again. 14 yards for them, down to the 20-yard line for Baylor, and they do another run. That's going to be Williams for 9 yards, but we're ticking the clock. Baylor keeps running the ball. 4:06 to play, and they've got to get 2 scores as they do run again. That's Williams. He gets 8 yards down to the Utah 2-yard line. 1st and goal for Baylor. Let's see. Fields drops back to pass on 1st down, and he's able to find his tight end. That's going to be Marks. 2 yards and a touchdown for Baylor to bring this back to 48-45. Utes with the lead, and Baylor wants to get another stop. They just got to get one stop on this Utah offense and get the ball back, as Martin goes for 8 yards off the left tackle. 2nd and 2 for Utah. Cardona drops back. He's looking for, that's going to be Michael McBride, and that's caught complete, 39 yards down into Baylor territory at the 37, and 2:14 to play. But Baylor still has their timeouts, so let's see if they can just limit Utah to a field goal here as Butcher goes for 5 yards on the outside. 5 yards again. Utah's going to get that first down. Baylor used two timeouts there, and now Utah can probably just wind out this clock unless they do something drastic. 1:33 to play. That's going to be run on the outside, and it looks like Utah is going to be able to secure this victory as Butcher goes for 10 yards there down to the 2-yard line, 32 seconds to play, and Cardona is just going to kneel it out. And nice comeback from Baylor there to finish it out. A little more time, and they might have been able to pull it out. But ultimately, Utah finishes it up on offense, drives down the field, kneels it out, and they get the victory in this championship for their fourth one, 48-45 over Baylor. Great season again, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for watching. We'll get the file up, and then we'll get advanced to the next season finally. Exciting to do it. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for great playoffs, and we'll catch you on the next playoff. So this is Yeti signing out on another season.